Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Enrique and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Fiji exceeds ADB president's expectation. ADB volunteers recognized. And Lifeline Fiji receives 400 calls so far this year.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Amrita Sagar.
The 52nd Asian Development Bank's annual Board of Governors meeting has exceeded expectations. ADB President Takehiko Nakao says the arrangements, logistics and the discussions on issues such as climate change and sustainable tourism had exceeded his expectations before arriving into the country. Nakao also praised how safe the event was. Kelly Vidala reports.
Fiji hosting the Asian Development Bank high-level meeting is the first of many.
I expected a very high kind of a remark for this meeting even before coming here, but this meeting exceeded even that high expectations, and many people really appreciate this meeting. The weather turned out to be perfect, and so we really enjoyed those things, and also cultures and traditions.
ADB President Takehiko Nakao says discussions that took place during the meeting on various action plans were interactive, intense and important for all member countries.
Interesting, but the important action plan of clean ocean health and sustainable blue economies. And so in addition to climate change and gender and private sector, and also we discussed sustainable tourism.
Board of Governors Chair Ayaz Said Gayoom says any such multilateral gatherings held in the country must be seen as an achievement for the Pacific, not Fiji alone.
This meeting represents the largest advertisement ever showcasing Fiji. Fijian businesses, Fijian fashion, Fijian art, Fijian history, Fijian culture, Fijian products, and of course, more importantly, the Fijian people to the world.
More than 2,000 delegates and 140 journalists from the Asia-Pacific region and beyond converged to Denaro Island for a series of meetings which were held at multiple locations this week. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Asian Development Bank will provide $2 million to the Nandi flood alleviation project. ADB's technical assistance was confirmed during the ADB meeting in Nandi this week. ADB is pleased to partner with the Fijian government to help protect Nandi from regular flood events. Anna Ravulo has more.
Regional Director, ADB Pacific Sub-Regional Office in Fiji, Masayuki Tachiri, says the partnership between them and Fiji recognizes the economic importance of Nandi as a vital hub for logistics and tourism for Fiji and the wider Pacific sub-region. He says the ADB assistance will identify an economically optimal flood alleviation investment that reduces economic and social losses and loss of life from floods in the Nandi area. Tachiri adds it will consider future scenarios of population growth, changes in land use and climate change. Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Economy, Makareta Conrote, says Fiji has experienced more than one flood annually for the last 40 years, with particularly devastating floods in 2004, 2009, 2012 and two events in 2014. Conrote says urgent action is needed now on adaptation and building resilience, and they are pleased to partner with ADB to advance project development. Meanwhile, the January 2009 flood, which devastated large areas of Fiji, claimed 11 lives, left 12,000 people homeless, and caused $113 million of damage, with the Nadi area being the worst hit, with total damage estimated at $81.2 million. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
Around 400 support staff who were part of the Asian Development Bank Governors meeting in Nandi were thanked by the organizers. The support staff were hosted to a lunch at the Sheraton Resort and were also given certificates today. The Attorney General Ayaz Said Gayoom praised them for playing a vital role during the biggest meeting in the Pacific. For the support staff, gaining experience was the key reason they wanted to be part of the ADB meeting. A number of them told FBC News that they were proud to have been part of the historic event during the last few days. Lifeline Fiji, the sole organization that provides a 24-hour suicide prevention helpline and counseling service, received around 400 calls so far this year. Through their toll-free helpline, the organization has so far dealt with suicidal issues and relationship problems. However, mental health issues topped the list. Lifeline Fiji organized an inaugural gala event last night to help raise more awareness on their cause and fundraise at the same time. Kritika Kumar with more.
The officer in charge of Lifeline Fiji says various issues are brought to their attention on a daily basis via their toll-free number.
Some call in for suicidal ideation, some call in for relationship problems, some call in for financial constraints, and yes, some call in that they're struggling with their studies and with kids for bullying and things like that.
The gala event last night was a step closer to creating more awareness and increase their visibility to rural and maritime areas.
One of the things that we would like to do is to raise awareness and going out to communities and raise much more awareness on mental health and suicide prevention, not only at the four corners of our walls, but going out to a grassroots level.
Meanwhile, former All Blacks captain DJ Forbes, who was the chief guest at the gala, says that he fully supports raising awareness around mental health and that there is hope for those suffering.
Well, I think it's important, to find a support team that they can, they can turn to to realise that they're not alone. Although it may feel like that, it's important that they reach out, and I guess that's why events like these are really good.
The gala was attended by hundreds of Fijians to show their support for the work being done by Lifeline Fiji. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Still to come, ban on Kawakawa and Donu to be effective soon. And in our successful Fijian segment tonight, a woman who achieved more than what she imagined just by selling juice. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, Nambandua and Nasere.
Hoya uvasit sai sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong Nambula FM Nambandua and Nasere.
Buya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong Nambula FM, Nambandua and Nasere.
Wana tunga Nambula FM, Nambandua and Nasere number 1.
Na vengo fani na tao.
Fiji stands a good chance of attracting more tourists from the other markets apart from Australia and New Zealand. Faced with competitive markets from Bali, the Maldives and other smaller countries, Fiji is hopeful that with more attractive marketing, more tourists will opt to visit the country. Kritika Kumar reports.
The South Pacific Tourism Organization says diversity and strong culture is Fiji's competitive advantage.
So Fiji can promote its culture, the friendliness of its people, etc., which will sort of make it more different. There are many things in Fiji that that could be promoted as a unique selling point.
While the Western Division seems to attract tourists, there are other tourist spots around the country.
Looking at other areas, probably also trying to decentralize the number of tourists rather than just focus on the West in terms of being at Denarau and the Mamaluthas and also Sawas.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association Chief Executive says tourism has the potential to be a tool for development.
We'd like to see, for example, a little bit more attention to improving infrastructure. If you're looking at expanding or creating more development, then the infrastructure that supports that development must go hand in hand with that.
The SPTO aims to help the Pacific increase the number of tourist arrival from major source markets and also from emerging markets. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The seasonal 4 months ban on Kawakawa and Donu becomes into effect in 3 weeks' time. The Fisheries Ministry says there will be no harvesting, killing, selling, buying and eating of the two species come June 1st to 30th September. This is to help the two species repopulate. The ministry seeks the support in spreading the word by discussing it with friends, family, and even posting it up on their various social media pages. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission will soon announce their findings on the investigation of the Langi Langi housing project. Chief Executive Joel Abraham says the project has been running for over 10 years. Thus, there was a lot of work that needed to be done. Abraham says they conducted a special investigation and found some anomalies and have reported it to the relevant minister.
We're given a 3-month time frame to look at the whole exercise. We've done that. We'll be making an announcement shortly.
Never give up, because great things take time. Our Successful Fijian segment tonight features a 60-year-old juice seller who has been selling juice for more than 2 decades to provide for her family. Meeting the educational needs of her 5 children, Makera Mbui says everything was difficult at the beginning, but it eventually got easier. Senia Nimboila reports.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
It was back in 1992 when Makera Mbui of Mbau Island began her juice business in the capital city. Mbui says it was the only option for her in order to provide for her family.
I first started with my juice business in the Nganilau house, which is now known as the Telcom building. I'm selling juice for more than 20 years now. As a mom, I'm blessed that I was able to raise my children with the juice money that I collected every day. I always sell juice to support my husband, who was a PWD temporary worker then. Sometimes they call him to work and sometimes they don't. Most of them don't work during the festive season, so the juice money was what that caters for my family's needs.
With a cup of juice costing 30 cents then, her income was not enough to cater for her family expenses.
Sometimes when it rains, there is less income, so when the weather is good, I can earn $60 a day. I had to bake roti to cover for my juice expenses. I had to fetch water from the market and carry it all the way to where my juice stall was. It was not easy.
We took one day at a time, as selling juice not only put all her 5 children to school, she was also able to meet the family's daily needs and continue building her business.
My children were my inspiration, a reason for me to move an extra mile, to provide for them, and my husband always supports me. I always wanted to show them that life is not easy and they should move on no matter what happens.
Seeing the children fight their way up to the top was never a surprise for her, as she allowed them to see her everyday struggles.
4 of my children are now working while the youngest is still in school. Now I only have to sell juice on Sundays to cater for me and my husband, and not every day.
Mbui says you must have a lot of patience in order to succeed in life.
For us women, we have to be very supportive and be a role model to our children. They always look up to us, and what we will teach them will stay with them forever. We have to be patient because no great thing is created suddenly.
She says being patient is not about doing nothing. It's about constantly doing everything you can in order to better your life. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
In sports, Fiji FEC defending champions bow out. And Fiji Under-20 ends Oceania Rugby on a high. Details coming up.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singatoka. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM.
Fiji FEC defending champion Rewa has bowed out of the tournament after losing 3-1 to Ba this afternoon. Nasinu has also bowed out of the FAC Battle tournament after they held Nandi 1-1 in their final pool match at Lautoka's Churchill Park this afternoon. Rusiati Materarenga's penalty goal ensured the Green Machine took the lead in the second half, before Nasinu's Manasa Levadi clapped back with a goal of their own to equalize the score. In another match, Nasinu held Nandi to a 1-1 draw. Lambasa threshed Tavua 8-1, with Siotame Komu bagging a hat-trick for the Babasinga side. The Vodafone Fijian Under-20 ended its Oceania rugby campaign on a high with a 59-37 win against Japan last night. The Fijian side looked strong in their attack and their sleek handwork, where the ball gave them an edge over the Japs. Serua was held to an 18-all draw against the Bua provincial side in their Vodafone Vanua Cup challenge yesterday. A tough battle between the two sides saw them just 2 points apart at halftime, with Bua leading Serua 10-8. Serua made an early break in the second half to take the lead. However, Bua regrouped to put pressure on its opponent. Bua successfully converted a penalty kick in the last 10 minutes of the game to match Serua's score 18-all. Bua will host Nukuloa next week, while Serua takes on Maduata in Lambasa. The Chiefs made a stunning comeback to hold the Highlanders 31-all in the 12th round of the Super Rugby Premiership. The Highlanders looked confident for a win, but the Chiefs' determination persisted till the end of the match. The Sydney Roosters thrashed the West Tigers 42-12 in their NRL match last night. The Roosters were in great form, with Latrell Mitchell bagging a hat-trick as they dominated the entire match. Liverpool has returned to the top of the Premier League standing with a victory over Newcastle United to put pressure back on Manchester City. A trough of low pressure lies slow-moving over to the north of the country. Therefore, associated cloud and showers will affect the northern parts of the country and is expected to spread to the eastern parts from tomorrow. We take a look in the west. It was a sunny day with Nadi, Lautoka and Ba hitting 30 degrees. And eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, cloudy conditions with brief showers were experienced in most areas. Up north, it was a rainy day and it will become more frequent tonight. At sea, east to southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough to very rough seas and moderate southerly swells. The low tide will be at 12:07 a.m. and high tide will be at 6:50 p.m. Sunrise will be at 6:24. Now for tomorrow, it will be a fine day throughout the country with cloudy conditions in the north. And looking further on to Tuesday, occasional showers, heavy at times, and few thunderstorms are expected. Recapping the main stories, Fiji exceeds ADB President's expectation. ADB volunteers recognized, and Lifeline Fiji receives 400 calls so far this year. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM, to our poll question segment. This week, we're asking, is FRA doing enough to fix potholes on our roads? You can visit our FBC website to answer. You can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. Until next time, good night.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Babasing Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jackson Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.